All right, the Hangout on air is live. That's what the control system is telling me. What's up, guys and girls? It's Tuesday. Time to talk about some Android stuff. 2 weeks in a row. Let's try and not make that a habit.
It ain't summer no mo.
I don't know where I look. I feel like I look weird because the camera's here, but I want to look at you guys, and you guys are here. So, like, I'm looking here, but I should be like, you guys and girls.
Let's do this. Let's look to the side.
Is that working? Is that working for you?
Yeah, it's
For you?
always working for me.
Is that working for you? All right. Got a new intro opener courtesy of Eric Finkenbeiner. Gotta love that. Also, if you're on the live page, join the RC chat. irk.freenode.net hashtag AOTA. Just gonna converse it up in there. It's gonna be good. So, all right. Here's the.
For centuries, we've been warned about little green men.
Now, they are coming. They're coming for you. Prepare for the attack of the Android.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2014. This is episode 134 of AOTA, Attack of the Androids, right here Tuesday nights. Join us. I'm Matt Lee. That's Eric Finkenbeiner. What's up, Eric?
Not much, Matt?
Nice work on the intro, by the way.
Thank you.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, little NPR tea sipping. Love that sound. Wait.
Don't
He deserved
do
that.
with a carbonated beverage. Oh. Nick Carroll also joining us. What's up, Nick?
Hey, glad to be back. Hope you make it through.
I kind of love this right now.
That's right.
His uppance has come. Well, Nick, while Matt recovers, what do you want to talk about?
I think I just threw up a little. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. So let's start things off. Do you guys want a little? We talk about Koosh because he's a great Android developer.
Almost on the daily.
Right on the weekly, we talk
Yeah.
about Koosh. We're going to talk about him until he comes on the show. But in keeping with our theme of following great developers, when Koosh speaks, we like to listen because he's a smart guy, right?
You know, I tagged him on our last show, hoping that he would see the little graphic of his face. I have not heard back.
I gotta say, if you guys have a minute, go to attacktheandroids.com and just click on one of the last like 4 or 5 episodes. Eric has been completely killing it with.
I love photoshopping pictures for the show notes.
It's so good. So, Koosh, I just saw this randomly in the stream. He says, reading through my stream, Android zealots are calling terrible password and security question practices or on specifically targeted accounts a iCloud hack. Yeah, okay. And that's, I mean, we kind of say that every now and then when something's like, oh, this got, like, oh, my Facebook got hacked. This is like the prime example, right? Oh, my Facebook got hacked. Did your Facebook get hacked, or did you click on something somebody sent you? Because it's kind of 2 different things, you know? And so this is kind of obviously talking about, if you were reading the news at all last week, iCloud, I guess, got hacked, but more importantly, a bunch of naked celeb pictures were published on the internet, which, okay, best practices, if you're not going to care about your passwords, you should probably not keep nudies in the cloud. You should probably not, if you're famous, you should probably not have nudes in the cloud anyway.
Well, here,
if you're gonna keep stuff like that in the cloud, you should have a good password.
well, let's be a little bit fair about this. I mean, I think you're being fair, but more fair.
Oh, please,
Extra fair.
please.
So I was talking to my wife about this, and her response,
Online all the time, sure.
mi esposa, and her response to this was, because I had mentioned that in one of the stories, somebody had said, one of the celebrities had said, you know, these are pictures that I took with my husband years ago, and I deleted them off my phone, but she didn't realize that it was like automatically backed up to iCloud. And Melissa says, yeah, it's just like what Google does. Is there a way to shut that off? Because I hate that it backs up every picture, even the stupid ones. And when I delete them off my phone, they're still up in the cloud. So I mean, the average user may not realize they're being backed up, or may not know how to go in and delete them.
I thought that was off by default, and it asks you when you first install Google Plus or put your new phone. If you get a new phone, you put your account in. When you open Google Plus for the first time, it asks you, "Do you want auto backup on?"
Number one.
By default, it might be checked by default. It's been a while since I reinstalled. I mean, on this, I don't even remember what it said because I use it because it's awesome.
I probably imaged her phone for her and just selected yes. So there's that.
So that's beautiful.
And the other part of it is people don't necessarily read all this stuff. I think it's fairly obvious when you're going through it, and I think you do have to. I think it's checked. I think it is checked by default, but it stops, and you can choose to uncheck it.
We talked about that when it first came out, right? And people were like, "Oh, why would I ever want that?" And it's like, well, they're there, but they're not shared. They're private. And everyone that was like, okay, that was cool. But we didn't think, well, what if someone gets into your Google account? They're there for them. Granted, that's a big step to take, especially if you're using two-factor auth and everything, right? It's no easy task. I don't know if it's any easier on iCloud. Probably was, but after this will not be. Just like we saw with the Matt Honan, when his Twitter got taken over, they went through Apple, Amazon. They hit Amazon first, then Apple got the info, then changed his Twitter thing, and there you go.
Well, there's a really good Lifehacker article about turning on two-factor authentication for a bunch of sites. Like, it lists all the sites, and it says these are the sites that you should turn it on for, and it gives you a link to each one. So,
and I'll tell you, I use that a lot. The only one that won't let you use Authenticator is Twitter. Facebook will now let you use Google Authenticator app, which is, I like it. I like having them all in one app because then they're all right there. I don't have to check a text message or open the Facebook code generator, or I think Twitter will send you a text through SMS. So
that's not too bad.
And WordPress has a plugin for the Authenticator thing. I use them on all of our sites for my user account.
So do I, because I don't want Attack of the Androids hacked through my account.
Because you're the only other
posting PP pictures on there.
I like it. Because I don't want Matt yelling at me because I'm the only other admin account on the server.
Got that right.
I'm glad. See, I like that you took the initiative to enable that. It's not enabled by default. I am not the tyrannical dictator of the default that some might be. I am not.
Mama didn't raise no fool.
That's right. You went in there and you checked that box.
Right.
I like it.
Do it.
I like it.
So, Nick, did you download the pictures? We know you did. You've been looking guilty this entire time.
No, actually, I was only made aware of it a couple days ago, and I didn't know you could just download it from wherever. But I haven't looked, to be honest. There's porn all over the internet. These new stars don't really interest me any more than some other set of stars a few years ago. So I don't know.
That's a good point. If they're not new porn stars, I'm really not interested in their pictures.
I like it. I like Nick's excuses. Porn is prevalent.
It's everywhere.
Oh, perfect.
So is Goosh right? Or go ahead, Nick. Let's.
Yeah, I was a little interested in it. Yeah, I mean, it's sounding less like an actual iCloud hack. Like, there's some great vulnerability and, more like weak password practices, but I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it that deeply, but it is kind of weird how it's just being considered an iCloud hack when it may not actually be an issue with iCloud. I don't really know.
I think it is kind of BS. I mean, Kush is right in this instance, I think, in that, you have people that they truly are fanboys. They're going to jump on the anti-Apple bandwagon whenever they can, and it's just not warranted right now. From what we know, because I don't think everything's come out yet. But from what we know, it was a matter of a weak password. It has nothing. This could have happened on Google. It could have happened on Instagram. It could have happened a lot of places. It just so happened to happen on iCloud.
Okay, I'm reading through the comments just to get a little context here, and I don't know how true this is. Grant, they're just Google Plus comments, but Roberto Fabrizi says Apple can deny that their bug helped the hacker all they want. It's clear why they would want to do so, but we can't know for sure. And yes, there was an Apple bug that would let you attempt brute forcing without blocking the account or notifying the owner. And then he gives a link to an article on the Next Web about it. And then let's see, there was one more I was going to read.
No, yeah. That is true. I did hear the same thing, that there was this bug that.
And that's what another comment, Shane Menshik, he says, it did take advantage of a security flaw weakness in the Apple system, which was then patched. Hack, crack, does it really matter? It was still a security flaw to enable an undetected brute force attack like this on multiple accounts, especially in the time that we live in. He says, I mean, come on, systems I built 10 years ago emailed users when their passwords had been failed on several attempts or locked the account for a specific amount of time before they could try again. So, and that's what we said, right? Hacking, I mean, what matters is that it happened, I guess, and that it will put it out into the public consciousness, just like it did with the other one, and maybe things will happen.
Well, this is a little bit more general and high profile than Matt Honan too. I don't think most people heard about or really cared about some wired.
Right? In the mainstream, in the tech sphere,
yes,
I would say the Matt Honan one would be just because he's a tech writer and everybody that does that knows everybody. But to get it out into the mainstream, definitely this is way bigger.
With Matt Honan, like all of us, all the tech people or people that follow the tech press, like everybody clenched when that happened, and people that cared turned on dual-factor authentication. But yeah, mainstream. Like I think this is going to get people asking questions, and for better or worse, I don't think that it's going to end with people adding two-factor authentication. I think it's just going to be a lot of finger pointing and people, bitching and moaning, and then it'll go away because two-factor is still too clunky in its current implementation for most people. It's not easy.
It's set up. Once it's set up, it works great, and it's easy. But I agree.
It's okay, but it's not great. I mean, we only put up with it with our banks because we need access to our money.
My bank doesn't offer factor.
What's that?
I said my bank doesn't offer that. Wait a second.
Really?
But I also
most people, it's like the picture, like something because you know that this is my picture and it's a picture of a tree. That's my tree, so right. I can log in.
Makes sense.
Maybe Montana banks don't do it. I don't know.
I don't know.
Weird.
Okay. Let's see. While we're talking about security, was there anything else about that you guys wanted to? Are we good? Moving on? Okay. Moving on. Did you see this article on Fandroid about the Cryptophone 500? ESD America's GSMK Cryptophone 500. It's basically Samsung Galaxy S3 with custom software and security. So not the black phone per se, but a phone security focused like the black phone was. The interesting thing I wanted to mention about this I thought was kind of cool is that this phone will discover or it will know whether or not a cell phone tower is fake. If it connects to a fake cell phone tower, it's like, hey, this is not down. And that's something I had mentioned about the black phone is like it's so secure, but what happens if it attaches to a tower that's not? Like, is it gonna help that? That was in Hackers too, right? Isn't that's how they got him? They're like, here's our little tower we got in our little minivan as we cruise around. So I thought.
Well, is this specifically talking about like Stingray, like the stuff that's been in the news recently with where cops are using these like mobile cell phone towers to capture cell phones? Is that what this is talking about, or is it something different?
I'm not sure. I didn't hear about that. That's interesting. So that's not the cops actually plugging it into that one device that we talked about a long time ago and just sucking all the info out. This is an actual tower that they have control over?
No, this is it. It's a box that fakes being a tower, and then it sucks all the info out.
Right, but the one I was thinking of, they actually took your phone at a traffic stop and plugged it in, USB style.
Oh, No, this is like
that was called, but I feel like we talked about that a long time ago. But yeah, that could, because that's. But if it's a cop doing it, is the tower going to be fake? Like if you're the police, you think you have the blessing of whoever's tower, unless you're just not telling them, and you're doing it like they did in Hackers 2. They say a truly secure communication device must not only protect its communication links, it must also be able to withstand attacks against the device itself. To achieve this, all GSMK cryptophone secure mobile phones are based on a hardened operating system with granular security management and streamlined, how many buzzwords, are you guys counting them? And streamlined security optimized components and communication stacks. The hardened operating system reliably protects the device against outside attacks, thus offering true 360-degree protection when it counts most. I like it.
Wow. You two have blown my mind this evening. I wasn't aware of these kinds of exploits that were out there. That's pretty scary.
So real. I don't even know.
Wow.
Yeah, I threw a link into the chat about stingrays. So they are cell site simulators that basically they throw out a the article, the ACLU article calls it a Marco and waits for the phone to reply Polo. Polo, and in that Polo, it has the ESNs, the electronic serial numbers for the phones, which direction, the signal strength. So that way they can track the location of the phones. If the person stays connected, they can track to see who they're calling, probably who they're texting, unless they're using some secure text protocol. So
that black phone and these other security-centric phones are becoming more appealing now that we're having this conversation.
Right? And I like the point they make in this article is that because we know the NSA and everything is doing this kind of stuff, what happens if you, as just a normal user, your phone, you're walking down the street and your phone attaches to one of these towers that are sucking this, mining for terrorism or whatever it is they're doing? It would be nice if your device was like, ooh, I'm going to not use that tower, actually. I'll catch the next one. Thanks.
Well, how does it know? How does it know that it's a fake tower? That's what I'm wondering.
They said they were able to use a built-in function that allows them to monitor and identify cell towers that it connects to. They found that they'd encountered 8 of them in the drive that they took, many of which sat upon government buildings. They weren't able to pinpoint the origin of the interceptors, though, considering those things are expensive to acquire and assemble. We're sure they had to come from some pretty authoritative entities. They say that a phone connected to one of these non-carrier towers could be subject to eavesdropping as well as vulnerable to malware and or spyware that can be loaded up remotely. We all know the NSA and Department of Homeland Security have the capability and permission to intercept calls to protect the country from potential terrorist threats, so it's not at all surprising to learn that they are in use, these devices. The scary part is that you can randomly hop onto one for no reason at all. And they say it's important to note that any phone is susceptible to hopping onto these networks and not just Android phones. Android isn't some security nightmare. It actually seems to be a hero here, as we're sure no iPhone or Windows phone has the capability to detect fake towers like the crypto phone did. So.
Take that.
Doesn't say how, but it knows. Which is something in the tower itself, which again goes back to my point of, well, if you're NSA, you're just going to go to AT&T and get a legit one. You're not buying black market towers, right? Or the parts to build your own. Or maybe you are. I don't know. I don't work for the government.
Well, they're probably trying as many different ways as possible to get your metadata and other data, so...
They have all your data at this point.
Right.
I don't think it even matters anymore. But I just thought that was interesting. I wanted to bring that up. So, what did you find interesting in the Android news of the week, Eric?
Nothing.
It's been a little bit of a slow week. Yeah, we have IFA coming up this weekend, so that's what everyone's waiting for. So actually a lot of the tech journalists are actually heading there if they're not there already. So it's a little bit of a lull in Android news.
We did have a really good announcement if you're a big giant game nerd. like I am. Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition is coming to Android. Remember that? Huh? Yeah.
Is it?
That came out like 13 years ago.
What are you talking about?
Icewind Dale. So we talked about the predecessor to this in shows of yore, which is the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, which is it's a top-down like Diablo game, but it's like, what am I trying to say? It's sort of based in the Dungeons and Dragons universe. They're kind of difficult games, but they're really fun. So Icewind Dale is just like the next one after Baldur's Gate, and the company that did that before, which was Beamdog, announced that it is coming to Android, which is good, because when they did Baldur's Gate, there was a lot of questions if that would ever come out for Android because they had so many problems, they said.
I got 99 problems, but an Android port ain't one.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
And then
Nick?
AotA, it's not coming to AotA, but go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I was actually not really a big D&Der myself, but I have heard of Icewind Dale, so that's kind of a
Shut
pretty
up.
important game.
What's
I'll
that
probably-
behind you? Is that a 20-sided die?
I know, I'll probably look the part.
Disbursement hanging on your.
That's right.
It's
It's a bit of a big game. I don't know how much it's going to cost. It looks like the article doesn't say either, but if it's on the way, that's kind of cool. I guess we're going to see more of these sort of somewhat high-end ports, from back in the day, to Android. So that's cool.
Baldur's Gate was only $10 when they released it on Android, and I think it's well worth it. I never played D&D before either. These games are really fun if you have the time to sink into them. And I know the PC version. I'm not sure about the iOS and Android version, but you can do sort of like a local multiplayer type thing, which can be fun for the whole family. Nick, you can get all the kids together on their tablets and play Dungeons and Dragons.
I like playing Uno on the tablet. I've done that a few times.
Oh, you normal people make me sick.
Not the same thing, but okay.
I play solitaire. It's fun.
I still play Minesweeper. I'll find them.
When I win, all the cards go like this.
I have a Windows 95 machine that still has my perfect game on it because, it won't take screenshots.
Leisure Suit Larry.
That was a good game.
Man. Did you guys hear that AotA is supposedly in talks to be acquired by one of various countries in the United States and China?
By a country?
One of the businesses in those countries.
Oh, I thought
I may have misspoken.
was going to buy it. Like Turkey was like, "Hey, we should buy this."
Yeah, why not? What are we doing, really? Let's buy this game company.
Games, not bombs, okay? This will be fun.
That's great. Make games, not bombs. Peace out.
What if ISIS bought AotA, started making 99-cent games, and then funded their business, or whatever you want to call that, of cutting people's heads off and making shitty videos about it? They could do that by selling apps and then in-app purchases.
Make Twitch videos, not hate. We can do that.
Right? You could make a game where the point of the game is to kidnap a journalist and cut his head off and make a video.
Stop.
And get and then
Too
you
soon.
in real life. No, this is good. It's like the game Plague with the Ebola thing.
Yeah, that stopped. I mean, that stopped chemical warfare and biological warfare. So we have a really good template to follow.
You're missing the point.
Yeah, it looks like AotA's been in discussions with Xiaomi, Tencent, and others in China, according to this article. Even with Google and Amazon. That's interesting that they've tried with those companies.
Could you see
Can I
Google?
throw out a hearty Merca and just say that I really hope that this stays in America? Like, I don't want it to be sold to a Chinese company. Why don't have Google buy it? Like,
Yeah,
have at least somebody.
Yeah, I think it would pretty much die a pretty untimely death if it went to one of the Chinese companies. Not because they're Chinese, but just because,
I think
well,
they blow it up and put malware in it so that all of our stuff got infected.
well, I'm just not sure how much they would continue to support, the Ouya as a brand here, anywhere really. I think they would just repurpose it as, whatever their specific, media boxes or game boxes over there.
But if Google bought it, like, what are they buying? Android? Thanks, guys. Crappy manufactured thing. Oh, we have like 100,000 queues back here. We don't. I just don't see what they. I could see Amazon doing it more than Google, which is weird. Because I don't see Amazon doing it either.
Well, Amazon has their own Firebox, and it's actually better than the Ouya. The only reason I would think of Google getting Ouya would be as sort of a hardware partner. They would focus on hardware. They would just be a division for games and hardware, and with Android providing the operating system. So.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't know why they would buy it. I'm sort of in agreement with Matt, but I just don't. I agree with you on the point, Nick, that it would die. It would go to China. It would die. It would be one among many of these crappy, like, cheap gaming machines, and we would never hear from Ouya again.
Yeah.
Dead.
I think they would support it for a year, and I think they'd then stop. Anyways, go on, Matt. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Seth's joining us. You guys remember Seth? What's up, Seth?
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Hey, woo! Back. We're just talking about Ouya possibly getting acquired by Xiaomi or Google, Amazon. You got thoughts on that? Are you still playing your Ouya?
No, yeah, I think Ouya is past its peak. I think it's gonna die. I think it'd be great if someone else bought him out.
Do you think it'll die? Do you think it'll die by itself, or do you think it will get bought out?
I actually don't think it's going to get bought out. I don't see any reason, particularly I'm not sure that there was a name there, an Asian name I didn't recognize, but Google and Amazon has no reason to buy them out. I don't think. Yeah. They can already do all the stuff in house. I mean, that controller's not amazing. It's okay. Google can make that, easily. Amazon could easily make that. So I don't see any reason for those guys to buy them out. Another company, I'm not sure. I think Google will. I think we've seen moves towards this. They're going to create some sort of desktop controller experience that you can play games on, which is exactly what I've been wanting. I think the thing that killed Ouya was you had to buy Ouya games. As I said, I told you guys this all the time. You probably talk about this, but that's the thing that killed it, and that was a horrible decision, whoever on their part to try to make money.
And most of those games were the same you can get on the Google Play experience, but more expensive, and that was the big killer.
Yeah, why would you buy them twice? I've got.
Yeah,
probably $100 or more in bought games on Google Play. It's like there's no way I'm going to buy a system that can't tie into that. So
I think also that's like the huge part of it. If you have to buy it twice, the first time that happens, you just get a bad taste about that whole thing. Done with it, I think, and that that word spreads. They say here that the sources were saying that the acquisition would be more for staff talent than the actual console product. So,
yeah, that could be. I don't know.
A bunch of talent that made a crappy console. Like, I don't understand that. I don't know. Maybe they're better than what they.
You guys have probably talked about this already, but the Shield really interests me. I think that's a fascinating.
The Shield.
Yeah, right. I think that sounds good, but I even actually kind of like the Shield 1 with the handheld. I think that's cool, but the Shield 2 probably is cool too. But the problem is I don't have what is it? Not the AMD, but the other one, Enforce.
And NVIDIA.
NVIDIA, there we go. Yeah, right. The GeForce NVIDIA. I don't have that graphics card. Otherwise, I would buy one so I could play my Steam games like on my handheld. I would totally buy that. But they need to make it work with AMD cards if they want to sell more. But then that kind of kills the whole reason for doing it. But
here's a thought: AMD has not been nearly as competitive or successful in the mobile market, at least in mind share. I don't hear a lot about, this thing has AMD, an AMD chip inside of it. What do you think about AMD buying Ouya and making their Shield competitor?
That would make sense.
That would be really interesting.
More sense than Facebook, or not Facebook, then Google, Amazon,
Facebook.
maybe Xiaomi. I was gonna say maybe Facebook.
What if Facebook bought it with Oculus?
All their games on it, and then you could. But yeah, I think that would make way more sense than anybody else getting it. That's a good thing. You should get a hold of AMD and be like, yo, I'm gonna broker this deal.
I'm gonna be, hey, so are you? You know, I'm gonna email their press people and say, are you guys planning on doing this? And they're gonna say we can't talk about it. And then in the background they're gonna be, hey guys, did you hear? This is a really great idea. This guy sent us.
Some kid emailed us.
Yeah. Oh, he's from shitty podcast. And he had a really good idea though.
Like, Eric,
right?
Eric, you raised a really good point. Does AMD make any chips other than video cards and then the sort of lower end CPUs? I can't think of anything else they do.
Whoa, watch your mouth, buddy.
Well,
that lower end CPU is running this whole damn thing.
Well, what they also do is like they build console parts, like both the Xbox One and the PS4 are total AMD. And Nintendo's Wii consoles for the last several of them have all had ATI or AMD graphics and IBM CPU.
I forgot ATI is AMD also, huh?
Yeah, they got bought in like 2007 or something.
Do they do anything mobile though?
No,
it looks like they do Windows tablets.
Yeah, they do Windows tablets, but they haven't dove into Android, and I haven't seen any ARM stuff from them. One interesting thing to think about is AotA inside of that is an NVIDIA chip, so I would more likely believe that NVIDIA would buy AotA than AMD. But I do think AMD could actually get into this market with at least some sort of a ARM, design. Well, and actually we have Android on some Intel devices, so you could actually have an Intel-powered device.
Because would AMD have to do a whole new licensing agreement with ARM then, or I don't even know how that works?
Well, you're assuming that they would need to, they could just make their chip the graphics chip, and then just have a Snapdragon or something in there.
Yeah.
Maybe not a Snapdragon, like something that's not already bundled in, or where they're supplementing.
Well, they would have their version of a Snapdragon. They would just have their ARM design, and they would have to do some sort of licensing with ARM to come up with their own ARM chips. But I mean, Android does work on Intel or on x86 architecture, I should say, and so AMD could just design.
Would they need their own ARM implementation though? Because
no.
I mean, I keep thinking that like with Snapdragon,
mobile,
it's.
Well, if they want to go mobile, they would want to go ARM, but if they want to do like a console, for example, they could just do their own x86 powered console and throw Android on it.
Yeah, because it's going to be plugged into the wall, so you really don't have to worry about the power savings and stuff.
Yeah.
Suck all the juice out of the.
I mean, this is kind of random, but I mean, like if I were in the market for another video card, I'm not right now, but I would think I might go NVIDIA just because I'd be interested in playing the Shield at some point.
Yeah.
That's actually, I mean, I'm a very small sliver of that market, but there are probably enough people. The people who are buying high-end graphics cards are the same people that are owning Steam games. A lot of them are the same people that want to play it on their. So maybe it's not as sliver as I thought it would be.
So it's the same demographic. It's not the console gamer,
right?
But it's that other giant demographic of PC gamers.
Yeah. Well, also there's a small market for Steam boxes where you essentially stream your Steam games to your PCs. But you can do that here too. You can have your PC. And then you can stream your games to that tablet, but you can have that tablet as a set-top box using its HDMI port plugged into your TV and then your controller. So I've seen a few people do that.
The NVIDIA seems a much more elegant solution than the Steam box does to me.
Yeah, because it's tiny and you just plug it up and you're good to go. So
right.
I purposely, when I bought my desktop earlier this year, I wasn't sure if I was going to get a Shield, but seeing the cool stuff NVIDIA was doing, I made sure that my desktop had an NVIDIA video card in it. AMD didn't even come to the picture just because, like they seem to be honestly, I'm not a very sophisticated gamer or anything, but they seem very neck and neck.
Yeah,
so it's these little side things, it's these little side innovations that are what push you over the edge, and the Shield clinched it for me. That's why I went with an NVIDIA card.
Mm-hmm. Eric, do you have a Shield?
I don't, but I've been looking at the Shield tablet. Once the bigger storage version comes out, I may just sell my Nexus 7 and buy that because
that's the same thing I was thinking of doing. The exact same thing. I was thinking of selling my Nexus. If I had an NVIDIA tablet, I'd sell my Nexus and then get a Shield. But
Yeah, I've been considering doing the same thing as well because I've got the original Nexus 7 and I didn't get the the updated one. So for me, I'm in the market for an upgrade, particularly something with front-facing speakers, which this does have because I do go around the house, do chores, do different things, and it's nice having a tablet I can hear very well, while I'm doing stuff. So.
16. I know, like the current version, 16 gigabytes is not. I think that's like that's the base. Anything I buy at least has to be 32 gigs, and for some reason it still has that notify me button on the NVIDIA website. You can't buy that version yet.
I wonder what it would take for just Google to make. I wonder how proprietary that technology is that NVIDIA's come up with. Like, why couldn't Google and Steam make that exact same thing that works on every tablet with every video card? Do you know what I mean?
They would have to use. Well, yeah. That's a good question. I mean, the technology.
They can't. These tablets have the worst specs in it, and they would overheat and melt.
Yeah, that's one thing that the Shield tablet has. It's got this architecture that's designed for the streaming built in, but I don't know how.
Have it running on a Chromebook.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just threw that out there. My Chromebook has an i5 in it, so I mean, I guess you could do something like that on the mid-tier ones.
With all of that extra process you're not using running a web browser.
Listen, I think that you underestimate how much processing power Chrome can take. It sucks down the power. It loves it.
More than this poor little Vio can handle with its Centrino. That's
probably true.
All right, let's see. Seth, since we haven't had you, is there anything else before we kind of move on with what we had assembled here that you want to bring up?
No, I haven't been keeping that abreast. I mean, I don't know what. Again, I haven't been on the show obviously, but to me, it seems like it's been just sort of in the whole Android atmosphere has been a little bit maybe boring recently. I don't know if you guys say the same. It just hasn't been all that terribly much dropped or developed, or it sounds like we're on the cusp here, maybe with some new Nexus developments.
Yeah, we're in a little bit of a lull because like we had Mobile World Congress recently, and then IFA's coming up next, and then. And then the Google's announcement is like early September, so go on.
The last big thing was the wearables, I feel like. That really halfway excited about as far as Android.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too. My wife had a Pebble and she never used it, so I just sold it on eBay. But I'm thinking of getting, that Motorola, and then the LG came out too with the Circle one. Those are kind of cool. I'm not going to be an early adopter on that, but I might. Depending on how the early reviews go and people use it and they've got some decent apps, I may be like a 2 or 3 month in adopter and see if I like it or not. We'll see. Yeah. It also looks big. The Moto Watch looks big.
My whole thing was like you feel how warm your phone gets. Like when I feel like if there's too much going on there, it's this giant warm, uncomfortable, sweaty thing on your arm. You know.
Totally. We'll have to see. I don't know. I'll have to go look at Best Buy as my showroom.
I always say that it's like iterative. It seems like because we went away from watches and now we're kind of going back because it's like, well, cool, we put your phone stuff on your watch, but I feel like that's just a mid-step, getting all of this tech small enough to where it can go into your eye or wherever it's going.
I could see. I could think I would like having it on my hand, but then the problem is trying to figure out there have to be some sort of great grid or screen to keeping only notifications I actually want to show up on my
I think they have to do like they did in Continuum where the clothing had your in it. Like that seemed like the best way to keep it on you but not in you because maybe I want to upgrade it and I kind of like my arm, But
you just like the idea of like a onesie.
I kind of like the onesie that makes you invisible or hacks things or whatever.
Hold on a second. Let me turn my onesie on.
Like in that game. All right, CyanogenMod. Did you see this post that they were like, hey, give us your infos and we'll tell you this something really cool thing that we're working on. You can like submit to be notified or whatever. What is this cool thing? Nextbit Systems and CyanogenMod? Going to come out with a mystery project. What do you think? What could it possibly be? Are they doing a watch also? A headband maybe? I don't know.
I kind of think that it might. I think it's hardware based on what.
They say breakthrough technology that allows for deeper integration between the cloud and mobile devices. How many buzzwords were in there? I counted 5. So
Well, it challenges the conventional wisdom in mobile OS and cloud computing paradigms.
we're going mobile, social, local. We're mo so low.
It was so loco.
We're mo so low. Oh god. So yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of
Well, they say they're going to have a call for private alpha testers. So, like the speculation is that I've read was that it would be hardware, but the fact that they said alpha testers makes me think that it might be software based. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, hardware's not really their thing, right? I mean,
It's not cyanogen mod thing, cyanogen mod thing, but it sounded like Nextbit they were hardware people.
and then who else? They have HTC's former design and UI boss coming on also.
Yeah.
So they have someone to do a UI. They have Nextbit that does what? Hardware? Is that what you're saying? And then
it seemed like it. I don't know.
Cyanogen, obviously the software side of it. What are they going to put this in?
You know, here's something that's interesting. You know, my initial reaction to this, which is probably shows up, there's something sad about the current state of mobile technology, in my opinion, is my initial reaction to this is like, this is going to be boring. Because I've got expectations that the only interesting stuff that happens is like comes out of Apple or Google or like HTC or Samsung right now, like some of these main companies. I guess maybe you know, virtual reality came out as a different company, right? That didn't come out of one of those companies, but
Like Oculus?
yeah, right. No, that's what I'm talking about. Oculus is the only one that's actually like, I don't know. It's like cloud. Once I hear the word the cloud anymore, I lose all my interest. It's like sort of like, oh, that's going to be boring.
Buzzword.
I already have cloud solutions, like, and it's already integrated pretty great with my phone. Like I can get anything I need on the cloud. It's right there, already done for me.
Like what
I
else
don't know.
do that would make that be like, oh, that's what my cloud's missing?
No, I know. Like I hope I'm wrong, but like nothing interesting has come out of a small company. Maybe you guys can think of something different, but I can't think of
Here's an idea. It's just a thought. Like that makes me think that it might be something interesting. I just went to the Nextbit page, and if you go to their about page, they've gotten money from Google Ventures. So you know, Google obviously thinks that they're doing something interesting. Then if you look at their jobs page, like I take it back. This is software. This is definitely software. They're hiring product designer, manager, software engineer, Android software engineer for testing, a user experience, rapid prototyper, a visual designer. Like they are making software. What it does, I think, is the
software?
question.
Is it cloud-based?
God, I hope it's cloud-based,
Cloud-based
virtual reality.
Hold on.
It's a weather app.
It's a cloud-based weather app.
Yeah, you put the Oculus on, and then like you see the rain hitting your face. You know it's raining.
No, it's a cloud-based mobile operating system.
It's
Boom.
Java?
Boot to the cloud.
Cloud-based mobile operating system with a great weather app pre-installed. There it is.
Eric, you convinced me a little bit. I'm a little more excited now, but I hope it's not just like a better Dropbox or something, you know, like that. It's like Dropbox with more storage. You know, it's like
Their mascot is a sheep, so this could also be a giant FU to all of us. Like, hey, sheep.
If you install it, we just completely pwn your phone, sell
That's
your
right.
phone.
What they're going to do is they're going to put all your money in their cloud. That's it. That's
right.
That's the app.
Cloud transfer app. We really think you're gonna like what we've done here.
It's a new market.
Then you put your Google Cardboard on, and it's just like them giving you.
Like your Google Wallet, it just steals your Google Wallet, punches you in the face, and then jacks your wallet.
So did you guys sign up for this? I did because I'm an idiot, and it could have been a phishing scheme for all I cared. I'm like, yes, I would like to know more.
Click. Oh dear.
Did it ask you guys for your credit card number? Is that okay?
Password? Did it ask you guys for your password?
Oh, but seriously, did anybody else sign up?
No, I don't know. Again, I haven't been on the show for so long, but I'm feeling a little bit of app cloud fatigue in my life. Like I think I need less of that stuff. Like I need fewer solutions to spend less time learning them, and like I feel like my life right now is pretty good. Like everything's backed up in the cloud. I have access to it anywhere I need. I don't know. I'm just getting a little bit tired of like all these apps and new social. I mean, this is not social, but it's like I'm just a little bit I'm a little bit tired of a new app. I'm not sure.
It's been a very long run since Web 2.0.
Yeah.
Like we've all been beaten.
Yeah.
With all this crap for the past 10 years.
A marathon, man. A triathlon. I like the comments here. One of them says, I love whenever Cyanogen does stuff like this. I really do. And then this other one says, the problem is not about how well integrated the cloud is. It's about my data limit per month by my carrier that forces me to keep my music on my phone instead of streaming. Is it a data server? Are they going to make a carrier? Now that would be cool.
They've just announced they bought Freedom Pop. Awesome.
Republic.
Well, let's hope that whatever it is, they don't drop support for it after a month. That sort of thing.
Eric, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
Still bitter. This is the Oppo N1.
Oh, it's the Oppo. Yeah. Okay.
The first Cyanogen phone.
So,
Never forget.
would you say you're more or less angry with the Q than you are with the
Oh, I'm infinitely more angry with the Q.
Right? Your level of anger?
This works.
The Q.
This actually functions. The Q just looks awesome and just
The ooh yeah, and then my Oppo.
Yeah, hold on. Dust check.
Right.
It's Tuesday.
Let's see. Phone of the moment for Seth. It's a rumor, possibly some new Moto X Plus One. Some pictures leaking. It looks just like the Moto X. I guess that's how these things go. If that's
to me, honestly, the front looks more interesting in the back in that it has front-facing speakers. So that is my biggest.
That is cool for sure.
That camera is
You and
huge.
your front-facing speakers, Nick.
Yes.
What's with that camera? Do you guys have an idea?
Is that
It looks pretty big. Rumor has it that
Ugly
it's
as all get out.
is that
Yeah.
bigger than the? It is a little. I mean, depending on how. What?
Well, at least you know what to look at. So.
Isn't the Motorola button? Isn't that the power button?
Yeah. Supposedly, it's a power button that may even be
crap.
reconfigurable.
No, it's.
Yeah.
You mean on this one, right?
So it has all of these sensors on the front. So that's what these, this asshat's Microsoft Paint job on these pictures shows.
I was crossing out names of stuff, like censoring it.
These little dark circles.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what could that be? Like the only thing that I've ever seen use that is the Fire Phone to do that weird,
Sensors?
thing.
Yeah, infrared
The
sensors.
3D.
Yeah, the Fire Phone uses infrared sensors to kind of judge where your face is, and so it'll help with the 3D parallax effect in its apps or the UI. But yeah, I don't know if it's going to be like that or not. What it's going to do here, like if you look at the wallpaper on the front, it doesn't look like a 3D wallpaper. So.
But
I
we're
hope it's
looking
not
at it on a
something
2D
stupid
picture.
like that.
Gimmicky crap, right?
I hope it's something cool or useful.
The Moto X is so nice. Like as far as
I like the Moto X.
you have one, what are you using now, Seth?
I've got the HTC still, the one.
Oh no.
But like when my aunt and my mom want phones, they both bought the Moto X.
I know of quite a few people, not more yet than have
Because of me, yeah.
Samsung devices, but I am noticing a lot more Moto X's out here locally. So, it's a good phone,
I hope
for
the
sure.
X1 is
I'm on my
good.
second.
I hope this is still. I mean, I'm sad that Motorola got sold by Google, but I I mean, who knows what's going to happen to the company now? They were on sort of a good trajectory. I hope they can keep it up. We'll see.
For some reason, I feel, and it probably won't happen. It's just because it did. But like with the Droid X and then the X2, right? The X2 was just horrendous, and I kind of feel like that's where this is going. That the Moto X is awesome. The X Plus One's gonna just be crap. I hope not.
I don't think it'll be crap. I think it'll be incremental. And I don't think that the acquisition by Lenovo is gonna mean one thing or another. To be honest, like they seem to have been really good with the ThinkPad when they bought that brand from IBM. Most people did not really notice any change whatsoever. So quality-wise, if they do the same thing they did with the ThinkPad, they're just gonna let Motorola do their thing. They're gonna cash the check every month, and I'm looking at this phone thinking that it's probably going to be just as good as the Moto X. Probably not a reason to upgrade, but if you don't have one and you're looking for a new phone, I feel like it's probably going to be better than most other options you have.
Well, and especially if you get it in denim, right?
Right. Yeah.
I also like that Verizon might be getting an all carbon fiber version. Because I'm not into the wood back. Like, I kind of like this, just the regular stock one. It'd be cool to have, like, a carbon fiber one, I guess, to match my race car, bros.
I want mine made of, like, that human flesh silicone, so it feels like I'm holding somebody's hand.
I love the wood.
Make me a phone out of this fleshlight, please.
See, that's a great thing about them. I mean, I think that was a good idea. You can make that phone whatever you want. Like, I would totally get the wood. That was my favorite part.
You hear that? Fully customizable, Matt.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm surprised that the whole going on their website, the Moto Maker thing did not catch on as much as it I'm surprised it didn't catch on more because I think that's so cool to be able to customize
I think that's
the
super
phone.
cool. Yeah, like I said, one of my mom and my aunt, they told me what to buy. I mean, they asked me what to buy and I gave it to them, and then they had a lot of fun going and picking out their colors and.
Did they actually use the Moto Maker?
They did. I walked them through
That's
it. Yeah,
great.
Totally. Yeah, they had fun.
Were they satisfied with it? Like, have they been?
They totally like it. They like the phone a lot.
But the Moto Maker experience, were they down with that?
Yeah, they thought it was fun. I mean, it's a little bit complicated because of there's like that 3D button, and they kind of want to spin it around and look at it. But once you sort of walk them through that stuff, they enjoyed it.
The other thing we didn't mention, he's saying on here that might possibly be some sensors that work with Moto Alert and the Moto 360 watch. Have either of you guys messed with Alert yet? I messed with it on here when I set up because my new Moto X. I still need to send the other one back. I keep getting messages. They're like, "We're gonna charge you for it."
Javier's gonna be pissed.
I know. You said you mother bitch. You say you would bring. But this has that Moto Alert thing on it, and I started setting it up, but then I was like, this is, like, I get what I don't live in an area where anything like this is ever going to happen to me. Maybe a mountain
What is it?
or something, but I'm not getting mugged out here. I'm not getting, kidnapped or anything like that yet.
Is this like a panic button app? Like, what is Moto Alert?
Set it up. Let's see if you can see that here.
Let it settle. Okay, it's a giant yellow screen.
All I have to do is to send an alert. All I have to do now, because when you set it up, you pick your two contacts that you want your alerts to go to. You can have a preset message, and so you can say "meet me," and then it has your two people there.
Okay.
And then you can say where you're gonna meet. So I have my mom and my brother in there for just testing purposes. So you can say, "Hey, meet me here." That's fine. The other one is emergency. So you hit that and it starts the mode. And if you don't cancel it, it will notify them that, yo, there's some biz going down. And then the third option is follow me. And so you can type a message and then it will select a time, send these people that I have preset. That's the idea of this whole thing, is that you don't have to select your contacts because it's all preset. You just got to hit the button and it goes. So it'll send them my location every 5 minutes, or what I specify. And that way people know where you're at in an emergency.
This sounds very unuseful.
Like I said, if you lived in Iran, or if you're like a journalist, maybe in the Middle East, I don't know. It's helpful if you get kidnapped. I guess.
It's like the Motorola version of Yo. It's the Moto Yo.
It pictures that
Yo, follow me.
that thing that's going to happen to you where you're not going to have time. You're going to have exactly enough time to grab your phone and hit this button and send out an emergency alert.
No,
and somebody gets it.
You're going to have exactly enough time to turn the phone on, unlock it, go to your app drawer,
Oh, because I
swipe
have
through.
lock set. So all I have to do is look at it.
It's not going to recognize if your face is like...
I'm in the trunk of a car and...
That's not you.
I get what it's trying to do, but it's not very useful for me at all. But
they need to program. Maybe that's what the button on the back is for of Moto X Plus One. You hit the Moto button.
So instead of drunk dialing people, now we're like drunk emergency alerting people, which is like crying wolf way worse.
Like your Moto panic button.
Because now I'm never gonna get your alerts. If I get another alert from you, I'm not gonna come save you. So I don't
save
know.
me
It's
anyway.
pointless. That is true. I could not. Don't call me because I can't come save you.
Nobody can save you either, especially in the winter.
That is true. That is true. I'll save myself. Let's see. Anything else before we wrap this up? WebOS port coming out named LunaOS. Gonna work on the Nexus 4 and our favorite, the touchpad.
Woo.
Do you remember OS?
I do. I remember it fondly. I think I've said before. That was my first smartphone. Well, if you don't count the Trio, I don't count the Trio. That thing was a piece of garbage. The first modern smartphone I owned was the Pre, and I really like WebOS. So it's kind of neat that LunaOS, which is I think it was HP when they bought it fully. They eventually fully open sourced it before they sold it to LG. So
move. Like, oh yeah, we'll sell this to you. Hold on. Anybody want this for free? Anybody at all?
Well, they promised to do it, so I mean, it was either be dicks to us or be dicks to LG. So I think they made the right call.
Yeah.
You know, I had a touchpad.
Yeah, I remember that.
I put Android on it.
First started this show way back when.
It was great.
Wasn't that so the touchpad was made by HP. It was made by HP, but wasn't it the exact same as some other
It was the same as the BlackBerry.
Galaxy tab.
The BlackBerry. The Playbook.
The Playbook. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that my wife has my old Nexus 4, so we're in luck. She's gonna hate me when I put LunaOS on it, and I still have my touchpad somewhere.
Well, you still have that thing. I sold mine on eBay.
Did you? No, that is a piece of history.
Huh?
So it's gonna go in a shadow box one day in my office. But I think that it's necessary to put LunaOS on it now.
Absolutely.
And look at that butterfly in the screenshot.
Hey, what's going on with BlackBerry? Have they done anything in the last year? I don't even know.
Not really.
Whoa, Seth, we don't talk about BlackBerry.
Okay, sorry.
anymore.
Eric brought it up. I was just curious. I haven't heard anything from them.
A, we don't talk about it, and B, coincidentally, they're not doing much. So
Eric said BlackBerry first. It's fair game.
Let's just. BlackBerry went to journalism school, went to the Middle East to cover a little journalism, and got captured. Let's just
Stop. I think the last thing they've done is BlackBerry 10, and I don't think it's caught on anywhere.
Right?
They still sucks.
For Android and everything.
Mm-hmm. And still nobody's
Which
buying
also
their
sucks.
phones.
Right.
Who's the guy that is it? Chris Miller? Like who's the BlackBerry lover?
I don't know if
you're probably not listening, but come on, let us come on the show and let's ridicule you.
Come on.
You want to do it?
It's amusing how it gets defended. I like that.
Some people were all in on it
because they had to be, because their jobs made them be.
Well, their jobs didn't necessarily make them. It was the only option they had. It was Windows Mobile or it was BlackBerry. So
yeah, I was on the Windows Mobile side of that back in the day, so I also had some pain. Yeah,
you had a lot more pain.
Like
Where's my start menu?
you don't consider the Treo your first smartphone, I don't really consider my XV6700 my first smartphone, even though it was. But sure.
It was more like a, got its GED, didn't go to college phone. Like it's not.
No, I didn't even think it passed the GED test. I'd say it's hoping that McDonald's starts paying $15 an hour minimum. All right. Well, before we offend anybody else, we should mention this was kind of interesting on Fandroid. The Android Wear updates, getting a promise from Google to update Android Wear often and early. Fandroid has a little roadmap here outlined of what's going on with that. So I don't know. None of us have Wear really, except for Eric. What? I notice it's not on your wrist, so that's a sign.
It's sitting on. It's charging.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna wear it.
Is that?
Oh, here, hold on. Let me put the cradle on my arm.
No, the watch, you smartass. Like, does that get hot on your arm?
Does it get hot on my arm? No.
Yes, your wrist. Does it get
negative?
Hot?
Not hot.
No. Okay.
Mas frio. No, it's not hot.
Does it do anything?
It's like, well, the band.
Birds.
What?
No. Okay.
No. It's actually, now that I installed Music Boss on it, it's nice. It's more useful than the Pebble was. And it's cool getting the notifications, and the fact that it works similar to how Google Glass works, with like really good voice recognition. So, like I was in an airport lounge when I was on a work trip maybe about a month ago, and my phone was, there's very few places to charge in this place, so my phone was maybe 10 feet away from me, plugged into the wall, but I was having a Hangouts conversation with somebody through the watch, which was nice. It was not a bad experience. So I know that's like an everyday scenario for most people, but I thought it was pretty cool.
I would feel just like Penny and Brain on Inspector Gadget if I did that. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you guys see the new Sony thing? Ooh, no. Jinx, Matt. So it's similar to those NFC lenses that we were seeing last year. But the reason why I put it in the dock is what's cool is that this is not actually a lens anymore. You're just buying like an NFC base. I think it's NFC. It could be Bluetooth 4 now, but you're just getting the base, and it is E-mount compatible. So if you have a Sony camera, like a real camera, like my wife has a Sony Alpha camera, I could take her lenses and I could attach them to my phone, and we could take pictures with that. I think this is genius. Pure genius.
So you can turn any of your Sony smartphones into a really high-end camera, essentially?
Pretty much, and Eric, I don't even know that it has to be Sony.
Eric, how does the sensor work? Like what?
Bluetooth, bro. Bluetooth.
What sensor is actually capturing that? Because, the lens is just the lens, right? You need a sensor in addition to the lens. So what sensor? Is there a sensor? No, what I mean is the sensor on the Bluetooth thing, or is it using your camera sensor? I mean, it can't be using your camera sensor, right? It has to be using. I'm just getting a little bit confused.
Well, and this is only a leak. It's supposed to be fully announced, probably at IFA. So we may hear more tomorrow, but yeah, I'm not sure. It's possible that if you look at the actual mount itself, with the sensor,
there's a sensor in there.
Yeah, the previous QX10 and QX100, they had sensors in there, and it would pair with your smartphone, and the pictures would essentially stream through Bluetooth.
So they're basically just creating a camera without all the buttons
and controls and all
the body.
The body.
Yeah.
It's just because it's still got the sensor, but then you just plug in the lenses and then Bluetooth attach your phone.
And you control it with an app on your phone, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah,
I don't.
I'm
do you
not
think
quite
So?
sold on that yet.
What worries you?
Um, I'm trying to think how you're gonna hold it. It'd be a whole new. I'm also trying to think of, a phone. Phone is gonna be, yeah. I mean, kind of, but it's not. You're not gonna get the same
The phone becomes a body
steadiness.
at that point, except it's mad back heavy, right? Because you have this giant lens sensor.
Well, wouldn't the phone just be in your pocket? The other thing, because the one hand, because right here, like,
Then how
if
do
I
you?
got DSLR, I know how to all the buttons to, I could throw my shutter speed or my aperture open. I don't even have to look out. But if I've got this thing, I've got this thing in one hand, my phone in the other hand.
No,
I'm trying to adjust the shutter speed as I'm.
it attaches, and you just talk to it.
It
You're like,
attaches to my phone. Okay.
okay, Sony
It's
camera,
like
take a picture and make it look good, and then it does it.
That's gonna be weighted horribly. That's gonna be really
Right?
weird.
That's what I keep thinking. Is that like that? Just from the picture that, and who knows if that's even a real, but it looks like it's like here's your phone, and then here's like 8 pounds hanging off the back of it. It's just like I'm gonna drop it. It's gonna nosedive and then completely explode.
I mean, Eric, I'm intrigued. It just seems like it's trying to mix two different forms that aren't right. Like, for instance, I think Nokia's solution is a lot more interesting than this one. Like Nokia, where they just make this massive sensor, and that seems far more interesting to me. And I actually can have it in my phone rather than my phone. Plus, I'm carrying a big lens. If I'm going to carry a big lens, I'm just going to carry my DSLR. It's going to be far more functional than this is.
It's not all one or the other, right? You have a good sensor, you need a good lens, or vice versa. You can have a great lens, but if your sensor's crappy, so I think you need both. You need, like how the Nokia thing, they just put a giant sensor in. The lens is still mediocre, or it's decent, I'm sure, but it's not like great. This has a great lens with a great sensor. But then it's all weighted.
It's possible that my use case is very weird and outlandish, but the fact that my wife has the nice camera, she uses it for her artwork and stuff, but it would be nice if I could make some use of these really expensive lenses that go with her camera, and that's what I like, is that you don't have to own two separate cameras. I can have my phone, but if we're going on an actual vacation, where I want to take nice pictures too, I can grab a macro lens if she's doing just regular 35 millimeter, like what I mean, like I hear share that same stuff.
I hear ya, but then it's still like it looks like the sensor is going to cost $500-600 for this, right? Isn't that what they said?
Oh, it's big bucks.
Is it?
I don't know if it's that.
Yeah.
No, 400 for the body only is what they said.
Well, no, it's 400 for the body. The lens is the normal price.
Yeah, the lens, because you already own the lens, but still you have to buy a $400 body. You can get a pretty good camera for $400.
But
I mean, you could spend another $300 and get a really nice Sony, mirrorless DSLR.
Right. That's.
It defeats the purpose of having the best camera as the one I have, because you're gonna pull out your phone and then you're gonna be like, oh crap, I gotta pull out my lens and my tripod, and then it's just take a picture with your phone, let Google Auto Awesome it, and be done, and save $600.
I mean, Eric,
let's not.
This is kind of why I think that those handheld little cameras are going away. Maybe that's not fair, because they still make some really good ones, but it seems like we're either going to be moving towards DSLR or mirrorless cameras, and then our phones, right? We'll have two separate things, and this seems like it's trying to unite them in a way that I don't understand. But
no, I was really excited about this, and now I'm not.
Sorry.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's neat. I think it's neat technology, but you may be right. Like it and definitely I agree with you guys on the whole weighting thing, because at least with cameras, like you can have, like they have, things for straps, and you can hang it, and it's sort of designed in a way that it's, even if it's weighted very heavily at the front, the back is, shaped so that way it reduces that. But this is just, it's just a phone. It's thinner than any of the Sony, even the mirrorless cameras.
No, Eric, let's think about a totally separate use case though. Like this is interesting. We're places where like if you wanna hold your thing way up high and then take a, you know what I mean, like where you could never get your face up there, but you could still see on your phone through the lens finder. You mean that something like that could be interesting for taking certain types of pictures that you couldn't do with a DSLR.
No, can't you?
What's that?
With the GoPro, you could do that with the GoPro. You have the GoPro app on your phone. You have your GoPro.
Yeah, but then back to Eric though. But GoPro's not taking. These lenses are
right.
lenses. If you wanted to take a nice camera with a nice lens, a nice photo with a nice lens, in sort of ways that you couldn't do otherwise, this could be a really interesting way to do that.
It might work, but that would be dependent on it implementing, I think, Bluetooth versus NFC, because the way that the current ones work is that it has to actually be up against your phone.
Oh yeah, that won't work then.
Paired.
Yeah. No, I think this has to be Bluetooth. Although maybe it can't send. Can it send how much information can Bluetooth send? Can it send a 16 megabyte raw file in
not instantaneous?
A second?
No. Have you tried to send files between phones? It's not very fast.
So that could be a problem then.
The new version is faster, but it's not like I'm not using it to send myself
Because these files, if you're taking a, I don't know what is the megapixel of that sensor. I don't even know what that sensor is. But if you're shooting with $500-600 lenses, you're going to be shooting probably, a 10 megabyte raw file or something like that.
2.1 megapixels.
Oh, well,
right?
That's 2.1 megapixels. That's not going to be. You could do over Bluetooth.
The throughput, the practical data transfer rate is 2.1 megabits of Bluetooth.
Oh, per second.
The enhanced rate. Right.
Bluetooth 4 can get up to 25 megabits.
Can it?
So that could do it.
What is practical transfer rate? Like 3, 5?
If it's using Wi-Fi Direct, it could be 200. It's up to 250
it's not
megabits.
Bluetooth, is it?
Yeah, this
Wi-Fi.
really is Wi-Fi Direct.
Then it's Wi-Fi.
Does that suck down a lot of data? Does that suck down a lot of battery?
Could you please turn on my Wi-Fi antenna and my Bluetooth antenna, and let's really get this file sent?
Listen, Matt, this is what it's gonna take, so we're gonna do it.
Okay, no, that's good. And then
sit back, hit your panic button if you're feeling.
No, Eric, I
feeling
can't wait
depressed.
to see all of these amazing high definition pictures you take on my crappy little laptop screen. We'll really appreciate them.
Won't that be nice?
All right. Anything else? I think that's it. Is that it?
I think we beat this one to death.
We are well over our time. Seth, it's been amazing having you back. You should
Let me back, guys.
try and make some time to join us every now and again.
Yeah, no, I'll try to get back on now and then. I'm just starting my teaching season now, but I don't know to teach Tuesday nights, so we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on. Eric, where can Seth email us at?
If Seth wants to tell us he's joining the show, he can email us at show@attackoftheandroids.com.
Fantastic. AttackTheAndroids.com, that's our site. You can listen to us on Stitcher. I noticed Stitcher started retweeting our when it's in. That's kind of cool. And then,
Really?
Facebook page, Twitter account, Google+, obviously, and the YouTube thing there. So check it out, and we'll catch you guys next week. Eric, I can't wait to see your show notes this episode.
They're going to be disappointing.
Have a great
I can't live up to this hype.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.